guys, all right, we are going to move right into our next speaker. Okay, so I'm going to show you a little bit of an introduction video so you can get to know who she is. And then we're going to get right into our topic. So it is Dr. Atousa Mahdavi, and we're going to be talking about feeling confident in your body. All right, so let's go ahead and play that video right now so our guests can begin to.
Please welcome to our rock star stage our next speaker, who is a holistic doctor, speaker, and author herself, Dr. Atousa!
This deep sense of curiosity and inner interest to want to know why, and along with a deep desire to heal ailments and people or help them achieve their health, grew inside of me and has led to who I am today as I stand before you.
Dr. Atousa Mahdavi is a holistic expert, speaker, and author. She is a doctor of chiropractic and certified in functional medicine, Ayurvedic medicine, and yoga therapy. She's been in private practice for the last 25 years, helping people achieve vitality, longevity.
Today, my message for you is that the biggest pharmacy is inside of you. All you need to do.
So my guest today is Dr. Atousa Mahdavi, and we're going to be talking about overcoming the chronic stress of toxic relationships.
Change will happen only if you are consistent and persistent. And with that, all of my love and blessings to you. Until next time.
Let's welcome Atousa over to the main stage here. You'll pop up here in just a sec. Hey, Chris. I see Chris is here. There we go.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I am doing good. Thank you. Thank you. How about yourself?
I'm great. Thank you so much for joining us today. I am super excited to get into our topic. And so we're talking about universal laws of success. And
yes,
with that, I just want to just kind of jump right into it. So my first question is for you: how can high achievers optimize their performance, health, and vitality naturally?
yes. So I feel that so many people do not pay attention to the intrinsic healing capacity of the body. And so many people that are high achievers focus more on their basically intellectual, analytic sort of processes, less on the spiritual and more immaterial or metaphysical aspects of their being. And since the body is really different layers of vibrational frequencies, from gross to subtle and subtler, and in many spiritual dogmas and philosophies, we talk about body as not being just a physical phenomenon, but as being energetic vibrations of mental body, emotional body, energy body. If you put it in a broader perspective, the entire universe is a quantum field of consciousness, and humans are just a part of that quantum field. And so often we forget about our true nature. We feel that I'm just this, mortal thing that is, just in this body. And when I get sick, I need to get something from the external, environment, maybe a pill, maybe a medicine, maybe a shot or something like that to help me heal. Where in fact, the body has the self-healing, self-regulatory, self-maintenance capacities by design. And it is given every tool that it requires to heal itself. Only if we pay attention to the messages, the signals within the body, and also understand our true nature as divine. And there is an innate intelligence within this system that is in constant communication with a universal intelligence, which is the same quantum field of consciousness that I was just talking about. And so if you're very cerebral or intellectual or analytic, a lot of times you're sort of neglecting the true self or the higher self, and you're just listening to the thought processes that are happening, that basically it's a conversation you have with yourself that usually is analytic in nature, and it's a lot of what if thinking, and it's a lot of dwelling in the past or dwelling in the future. What you lose with that is being present in the moment, in the now moment. And a part of being achieving vitality and optimal health has to do with the recognition that my true nature is a divine being. It's a sovereign being that is an extension of the higher consciousness or the universal intelligence. And once you honor that, then this body is no longer just the body, is a temple. And then you pay very close attention to what you put inside of it, what you ingest, what you consume orally, obviously through the process of eating, drinking, etc. But also, if you have a choice, what kind of air do you breathe? What kind of an environment do you surround yourself in? Do you choose to be in a city that has a lot of pollution? Or if you have an option, do you choose something that is healthier? If you do live in a city that has a high pollution, do you stay actively engaged in changing what is happening to our communities? Do you participate in taking action to making sure that there is not so much pollution, for example? So you don't become, you step out of apathy, because apathy also has a very lower vibrational frequency. And we have to understand we live in a quantum universe, and everything is energy. Even the body is energetic, like I said, different layers of energetic vibrations. And if you choose to stay in emotions like apathy, or states of being like apathy, like guilt and shame or fear, then you're constantly attracting lower vibrational things to yourself as well. And so when people just go about their own business and don't care about what's happening to the whole, you know, what kind of air do you breathe? What kind of water are we drinking? Our tap water is like, I live in California, is toxic. If you, so there are so many layers to it, but if you recognize this as a body temple, as divine, then you will take a close look at what you expose it to, you know, what you know, your exposure to food. Do you choose to have food that is, you know, sprayed with pesticides and insecticides, chemical fertilizers? Do you choose to eat the kind of meat that is encaged and giving hormones and antibiotics, so it will get fatter and fatter and fatter and it can't even walk? Do you choose to sort of tolerate the kind of treatment that the animals are getting in those kind of industrial farming situations? See, the thing is, humanity has looked the other way for such a long time that things have gotten to where they are now. The rate of cancer. Did you know that 600,000 people die from cancer every year in the US? Do you know that 600,000 people, so 600,000 die from cancer, 600,000 die from heart disease? This is not an accident. This is not something that happened like this. This is as a result of corporations that control food and agricultural industry, with their lobbyists, have also bought and sold our politicians. And we have laws that do not protect our health. And so, you know, so it is such a multi-dimensional topic, but we need to look at it. We can no longer look the other way around. And we have to step out of apathy and go to courage. And go to courage and the desire. So the desire, the emotion of desire, is a higher vibrational frequency that starts to tap into higher and higher and higher vibrations. It's with desire that you step out of lower vibrational frequencies into higher vibrational frequencies. The desire to change something for the better, for healthier, for more conscious behavior, conscious existence on this planet. And so when we talk about vitality and optimal health for high achievers, it is a very holistic approach. You know, success is not just about, you know, making a ton of money and lose your health in the process, or you lose your mind in the process, you know, lose your friends, you know, not be able to have deep friendships, real solid friendships. It's not just so you could make a bunch of money, but in the process contaminate the environment, whether it's environmental, physical contamination, or psychological contamination that is exerted on humanity with the kind of work that we do. So, you know, the time has come that we really, and I say the time has come because of the 2020 and what happened on this planet, because then suddenly it became a global consciousness of what we're doing to humanity, to the animal kingdom, to the, you know, to our forests, to our landscapes, to our air, and then the solutions aren't to pollute it furthermore. Like when I hear some people that are not even scientists, and I don't want to name names, talk about let's block the sun with these things that we will spray in the atmosphere. I'm flabbergasted when I hear that some people talk about let's put another 42,000 satellites in the Earth's atmosphere so we can have a better technological advancements of communication. I'm flabbergasted because we need to go to the basics and understand what would 42,000 satellites, we already have a whole bunch more than we need, but adding so much more, what does it do to the electromagnetic field of the Earth? What does it do to infrared, ultraviolet rays that are supposed to, you know, penetrate the planet from the sun? You know, what are we really doing if we spray something like that into the Earth's atmosphere? And this is, you know, if you look at it, some scientists here are looking at it, in China, in Russia are looking at it. Some of our, you know, our personalities that we call philanthropic are talking about it. And so solution is not to come up in 6 months with a shot that is going to cure everything. The solution is to look at toxicity within this body temple. What have you been eating for all this time? What have you been drinking? What have you been thinking? What have you been exposing yourself? You know, what kind of a media do you expose yourself to? Is it mainly fear mongering, or is it more empowering that this body can heal itself if given the right internal ambiance, the right internal environment, living in the correct or right external environment? I know that was a long answer.
I love this conversation because this is something that I feel like is not talked about nearly enough. And this is a huge freaking passion for me. Yeah, so I'm really excited to dive even deeper. So with all of this said, I feel like a lot of people's brains are probably going like, whoa, what just happened? And what does this even mean for me? So how can people that are watching this right now step into that higher vibration? What are certain things that they can do to start, you know, increasing their consciousness of not only themselves, but, you know, the earth around us that then affects us as well, internally, and what we're able to handle health wise and all of this, so that we are our best vibrant selves in an amazing, vibrant world where everything is supported equal. So
Very
what can
good.
we start to do?
Yeah. So It starts with quieting the mind. It starts with having a practice, some form of practice that brings stability to the body and stillness to the mind. So you want to be still and you want to be in the now. So many times our thoughts take us away from the now. So the thoughts that are basically haphazard and we entertain them. Like one thought comes and it's like navigating this realm of what if, or maybe, or, oh, you know, why did this person did this to me? Or maybe I'll do that to them, or maybe. So there is a lot of voice that is our own voice, right? But in fact, it is not the higher self talking to us. In fact, it is the lower self, the ego self, the conditioning, habitual, vibrational thinking patterns that we keep on entertaining because we have been conditioned to identify with it. We're conditioned to identify with that kind of thinking. So the first step is to be in the now by observing the thought, observing and understanding that that thought is just a habitual tendency that is a vibrational result of programming and conditioning. When the thought comes, observe it like a witness, like an observer. Watch it. Be the watcher. Keep the watch at it and look at it. Recognize it that it is there. You don't need to resist it or judge it, but just recognize it as a vibrational tendency. Then pause. Do not entertain it with another thought. Do not let that thought to go to the next one, like a chain reaction. Thought, pause, breathe. Bring your attention to your breath. Then be with whatever it is you were doing 100% physically. Were you washing the dishes? Were you taking a bath when those thoughts came? Were you driving? Were you getting ready to go to work? Now be with that. If you're washing your face, feel your face. Do that action with 100% involvement and breathe through it. This is meditation in motion. This is meditation in action. So because for so many high achievers, they can't sit and be still and meditate because they keep on entertaining those analytical thoughts, those planning thoughts. And so because I work with a lot of them and they tell me if I sit to meditate, I can't meditate because I'm, planning my next thing, I'm planning my day, or, or I'm analyzing things. So then I teach them to recognize, observe the thoughts, pause, don't do another thought, don't do another word, don't do another thing, but be with that activity you're doing at that moment. Feel it. If you're driving, feel the wheel. Watch the road with 100% presence and breathe through it. Long and slow inhalations, long and slow exhalations. This way, you understand what it is to be present in the moment and bring stillness to the mind. And this identify from the thinking process. Your thoughts aren't you, but we are programmed to think that that is me. The thoughts that is in my own voice, it must be me. So we keep on entertaining it. But once you bring a separation, this is my thoughts, this is me. This is my body, this is me. Body, it's a sort of a container that is holding your essence as the divine, as a higher level of consciousness. Your thoughts are a vibrational frequency of different layers of this vibration at the level of the body. So you have the body temple or the physical body that is Anamaya Kosha in yoga. Anamaya Kosha means the food body. If you didn't eat, you wouldn't grow. You would have an impeded growth. You would not grow to, your potential height. Your bones won't grow, your muscles, so there is like all this malnutrition stuff, right? So anamaya is your food body, is the physical body. So this is quantum physics, energetic vibration that is at a grosser level. It's at a more heavier level. Okay. Then you have the breath body. Now the breath body vibrates at a higher vibrational frequency. This is pranamaya kosha. Prana means life energy, but so many people think it means breath. So yeah, so pranamaya kosha, or the breath body, is higher level of vibration. This is the bridge to manomaya kosha, which now enters the astral body, which is vibrating at the more subtle vibrational frequency. That is why you need to come back to your breath. In manomaya kosha, you could have thoughts that are lower vibrational frequencies, like what if thinking, maybe this, maybe that, analytical, negative thinking, right? But at this a little bit higher, you have jnanamaya kosha, or the intelligent body, which is now, this is the discernment. Is this thought serving me? Is this thought more in the realm of negative vibration or negativity? Is it empowering me, or is it disempowering? That's the higher level of vibration, Vijnanamaya kosha. So the breath will bring you higher from the body into the realm of astral, mind body, emotional body, manomaya kosha, which then, when you become the observer and decide which thought is serving you, which thought is not serving you, then you're in Vijnanamaya kosha, higher levels of vibration. And then ultimately, the meditator will be in bliss body, Anandamaya kosha. You probably have heard about anandamites. So a lot of scientists are now talking about, we have anandamites. So this is like peptides at the level of the brain that are feeling good and blissful peptides. And so anandamites, which the name comes from Anandamaya kosha, which means the blessed body. And so you want to be navigating more from a bliss perspective, from more joy, love, faith, and hope vibration. So these are emotions that vibrate at the higher levels of vibration. So because today my talk is about spiritual laws of success or universal laws of success, I'm talking more in the realms of esoterics than what kind of food you eat, what kind of, things of that nature. And so when we comes to vibration and frequency from the quantum field perspective, you need to understand that shame vibrates at a level of 20, which is almost close to death. When you are dead, meaning the body consciousness, it's 0. So shame is 20. Guilt is 30. Apathy is 50. So you see how when humanity becomes apathetic about what's going on around us, because we're so involved in survival mode, understandably so, and that we're not paying attention to other things. But we can bring the vibration higher even if we're in the survival mode. Grief is 75, fear is 100, and desire is 125. So now we're going higher. Anger, so you're sort of, how should I say this? So there is a justified anger that could be a resistance saying no to corporations that are polluting the system, saying no to a pharmaceutical company that is making you more sick than not. That's the justified anger. But you don't stay there. You don't stay in anger. So anger is 150. It's higher than shame, fear, grief. Then you go to pride, which is 175, vibrating at 175. Then courage is 200. At least we want to be at the level of courage, which is 200. Courage to change. being committed. So I always use the C, the C. So courage and commitment to change, whether something in us or something outside of us, our environment, our policies, etc. Then after that comes neutrality, willingness, acceptance, reason, love, joy, and so on and so forth. So the same way that the body vibrates in different layers of vibrational frequency, these other emotional frequencies also take you to those higher states of consciousness. So when a negative thought comes, so this is another tool. So first you observe, you watch the thought, then you pause and breathe. Long and slow breath, not rapid and shallow breathing. Long and slow breath, deep breathing. Pause and be completely 100% engaged with what you're doing. Do not multitask. Do not be doing these things, but be in the thought, like in here. And then you will, at some point, learn to replace the negative thought with a positive affirmation or suggestion, auto-suggestion. Because a lot of the programming and conditioning that has resulted into the habitual tendencies of negative thinking can also be changed by auto-suggestion that is consistent, another C, consistent auto-suggestive affirmations that I'm not the body, I'm not the mind, could be one auto-suggestion. That everything I touch turns to gold, that the entire universe supports me to achieve my purpose in this life, that I'm surrounded by supportive energy and supportive people, that I only attract. So different affirmations you could write down depending on the individual situation, and replace that thought with that affirmation or auto-suggestion. Keep repeating that to yourself. You want to the step 4 probably, or 5, you want to lace or condition that thought with a higher vibrational frequency emotion. Love. Remember when you were in love with someone, or you love a pet or your child or a toy you had. Bring that love experience, bring it, reproduce it. Then be in that emotion and say that affirmation. That's lacing that affirmation with emotion that is higher vibrational frequency. Faith. Faith that everything works in the right timing. Everything works for my good. Everything works in my benefit, in sort of a betterment for the entire humanity as well. Faith. So emotion of love, faith, and hope. And so instead of saying that affirmation with the emotion of fear or with the emotion of guilt, why am I thinking that? No, don't judge yourself. Don't feel guilty about those thoughts. No. So step out of it. I don't feel guilty. I should not have any guilt. I'm going to love myself. I'm going to bring love emotion to that affirmation. Don't have shame. Oh, what I did that, I did that, I hurt someone. Don't go there, because shame vibrates at a very low level. Bring love to it. And so you may have other questions, so I don't want to be.
No, this is great. And I think that, that's a good summary of all of this. Bring love into your life, especially at the moments of your worst self, when you're in the bottom of the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
How to consciously understand where you're at, accept, and then switch to a higher vibrations, mainly with, I feel like, love being at the center of all of it.
Yes, for sure. Love and acceptance, for sure. And courage, consistent action. Just a few things that I just said is so easy. You don't need to be doing anything. You're doing whatever you're doing. Bring your attention back to your breath, but consistently do that. and consistently watch the thoughts, consistently watch the breath, and you'll see, you will change into someone that is present, and joy will become more available to you. And obviously there are, breathing techniques, there are meditation techniques that you can learn, and which could accelerate the process a little bit more. Having a physical practice of either yoga, tai chi, martial arts, even walking, even you could do walking meditation, like go for a walk every day or 5 days a week. Get the sun on your skin, get the sun. Walk, when you walk, don't wear these masks. Study masks and study what they can do in the long run to your health. At the most, you want to be wearing a thin cotton mask, because in reality, there was just a study released by uh, PubMed, and actually talks about the hazard of long-term use of masks, especially if they're synthetic, especially the surgical masks that are colored blue. And so we kind of need to sort of step out of like all the fear mongering stuff and step into more empowering. We need oxygen. We meant to breathe in oxygen, not our own CO2 that is held inside of a mask for hours in a row. But if it's cotton, you wash it all the time. I understand, you have to enter a grocery store and they are not going to let you in if you're not wearing one. But understand that you have a immune system that is beyond and above any mask that you can put on your face. And I know that this is a little bit of a controversial, territory, but um, but anyways, you need to be more cognizant with every action that you do, and not just simply follow. There used to be a time that DDT, which is a toxic, pesticide, it was controversial to say that it was toxic, but it got banned, 50, 60, 70 years ago. And so things that we don't recognize today as harmful, and it's like, oh no, scientists are saying it's good or whatever. 50 years down the line, we're going to look back and say, how could the scientists allow that to happen? And so we always want to be like cognizant about, you know, what we're told to do that is good for us. But the years down the line, it turns out that it was actually poison.
Yeah. Thank you for really, I think, wrapping this up and in a really powerful way, and giving everyone here some really, deep things to think about that maybe has not been in the awareness before. So thank you so much. Your session has been powerful. There's a lot of people commenting some amazing things over here, so you can go ahead and check that out as well. But yes, thank you so much. And how can people follow up with you after this?
Yeah, so if your support team could also put it in the chat, you could go to yourvitalitydoctor.com, yourvitalitydoctor, spelled out doctor.com. And I also have I think I offered a free gift, an ebook that your audience will be provided. And I also have a calendar on my website that if you want a half an hour of free health strategy call, I'll be happy. You could book that there, and I'll be happy to do that as well.
And there we go. We got some of the stuff showing up in the chat right now. So,
oh, and also, by the way, yeah, the expert cure. I wrote a chapter for the expert cure. Someone is here and is talking about that book. Yeah, so I wrote a chapter for the expert cure. For 10 days, it was the bestseller on Amazon. It was even beating Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. So for 10 days, it was selling more than Think and Grow Rich. I have a chapter in there, so definitely get your hands on that book. And my own book, Holy You, is going to be on Amazon in May, probably late May. Holy You, and that would be on Amazon as well. And that's 11 chapters of a lot of the things that I discussed today. And so
Awesome. Yeah, I'm excited to dive more into this with you myself. I love everything that we've talked about. This has been like such a refreshing session, just such a different energy. And I'm sure everyone here is feeling that. I've seen some of like the reactions in the comments as far as like, thank you so much for just bringing such a calmness, even like in presence to this masterclass. So
My
yeah,
pleasure.
this has been incredible. And I'm so appreciative that you're able to join us today.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me on your summit. It was a pleasure.
Of course. All right. Thank you. All right, guys. So we are going to transition modes. We just had this amazing, I'm feeling like, I don't know about you, like I'm like on the cloud 9 right now. Like so tuned in and just feeling so relaxed every time she was talking about us breathing. Like, I don't know if you guys were doing it with me, but I'm like, long, deep breath. Don't, you know what I mean? Like these little things matter and they're really important. It changes our physiology. It changes our state. And our state is how we then show up into the world. So it's super important to be in tune with that with ourselves. So yeah, that was incredible.